Man, we're excited. And tell us about you for those that don't know you.
Greg Johnson. I'm the program director for the EMS Academy at Columbia State Community College in Columbia, Tennessee.
So you've been in this field for a while and
almost 18 years now.
Okay. So what has that journey been like for you? So education wise, so walk us through that.
It was following a path of what my family had done. My father was on the rescue squad. And so I promised myself that I would at least try EMS just to follow in his footsteps. And went on my first call and was hooked.
You were done.
Yeah. I've been hooked ever since.
How long you been at Columbia?
I've been in Columbia now 6 years.
Okay. And we have worked together. Obviously, you're part of the TEMSEA board and you've been behind this podcast. And, we've become great friends over the years just for, many, many reasons. I live in Columbia. That doesn't mean that we hang out, but your program is there. And I've got to be part of that and interact with some of your students. And you guys have a very impressive program, just in general, the EMT, the paramedic program. And you introduced the concept of leadership to your students. And I don't think that's a new concept, but I would love for you to expand about having the opportunity to take structure to individuals that may have lacked it, right? And they're being introduced to this very regimented structure of having to potentially save someone's life. So kind of walk us through how you do that and how important it is and some things you've learned from that.
Sure. So I think one of the things that we do best at Columbia State, or something I learned from Dr. Coffin, who I took over for as program director, was this idea of personal leadership, professional leadership, of course. But we form personal relationships with our students. We get to know them. And I think by taking the time to get to know our students, we're teaching them a leadership aspect that it's important that you get to know your people. It's important you get to know your colleagues that you work with, the folks that report to you as a leader at a service. And that obviously then translates over to having a personal relationship or getting personal with your patients and realizing it's not just some human being. You're actually taking care of someone's mom, someone's dad, someone's brother, sister, wife, that sort of thing. So it's an important thing. I think we do from day one. We address our students by name every single day. It's our first goal is to learn their names. So we don't just say, hey, you, we're calling them by their name. We learn about their families. We learn their background. And when you find out those little tidbits as an educator, it helps you learn your students in a way that you start to understand why they may be struggling with class. It's not just, they're not dumb. They're not stupid. They maybe didn't know how they were going to pay for breakfast this morning or how they were going to pay for the light bill. So when you can start caring about those aspects, we get into Maslow's hierarchy, right? When you can start caring about those aspects of a human's life, it's important. You had on a recent podcast, someone you interviewed, they had mentioned this idea of putting a sign on somebody's head or reading a sign that says, make me feel special. Yes. And I feel like that's what we do, right? We make every student feel like we truly do care, and we do care about them. And we try to make that come across.
Well, you guys do. I mean, it's definitely an impact. And walk us through and tell us about, so you have a student that comes into the program. What transition do you see from the time they begin to the time they end? Are they different?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. In what way?
We have students that come in shy, they're quiet, they're reserved. They don't talk to folks. They come in and they want to stay in their own bubble and they're there to learn and walk out. And by the time they leave, it's like they've got a whole new family. They're going out to eat with other students after class and they're hanging out and forming study groups and that sort of thing. And then that translates over to their relationships with the services. Once they get on, we hear feedback from the services that our students go to about how personable these students are, that they're engaging with their colleagues and that they're excited about being there. They're excited to start new initiatives to try to make, cultures and things better at those services.
It's a confidence booster.
Sure.
And I think and I know you, know you well because you're in the program where you're promoting it and, this industry about recruiting young people into this. It's a powerful thing that can change someone's life completely. And any words of encouragement for people that are sort of on the fence and be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that or recommend that to my nephew or my son or my daughter. What advice would you give them about the industry?
Yeah, there's two things there. First, I would say it's the absolute best job I've ever had. So day one, part of it is wanting to take care of people, but the second part is wanting to be part of something that's bigger than you are.
Yeah.
And the second part of that is realizing that we talk a lot about this generation and the differences in this generation. One of our instructors says something I think so neat. He says, they're not bad, they're just different. Mm. And so when you start to realize that you can get into that different zone and you can excel in that zone and participate in that, and you can encourage others, that's huge for students.
Well, we're grateful for the partnership with TEMSEA, and without your support, obviously, we've got to work on this together. There's a lot of behind the scenes that most people are not aware of. They hear my voice, but there's a machine that is behind this, and you're one of them, and we're honored. And thanks for your service and everything that you do for our industry. You definitely make it better, and you definitely make me feel valued, and I know you do the same for us. If you like this episode, check out the full podcast right here. If you want to see more videos, you need to check out right here. Remember, the most important person you're ever going to lead is you.